Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming to another video. All right, so I figured, hey, you wouldn't mind me venting a little bit after the Lakers got beat by the Beam team. I really don't know if there's anything new to say. This is not going to be premeditated content. I'm just literally going to speak out and let it be. Um, this team is not. It's not a team you want to give up on, but we're at a space where it seems like we're leaning in the wrong direction. Now, granted, when I say give up on, that means my interest in watching the team, my interest in seeing them play, and incremental possibilities of them getting better and going through the course with the team. You know, it's a long season and we're still early in it. It's a lot of things that can happen in a season. I remember one season, Andrew Bynum went down with an injury and the Lakers had no center and our team was trash. And somehow, due to the fact that we had assets that we don't have in real life right now, but back then we were able to make a trade and got Pau Gasol on the team, and suddenly we turned the tide on our entire roster and ended up making the finals. Even though we lost to the Celtics, we still ended up making the finals, and we didn't expect to be that good at all. We really didn't, especially when Bynum went down. We thought we weren't even going to make the playoffs. So this is a situation where, because I've seen a season like that happen, I know a lot of things can happen in a season. A lot of things can happen in a season. Now, that doesn't mean I see any path to us hoisting the trophy at the end of the year, because that's a lie. I'm not sitting up here saying this is a championship team. In fact, I'm telling you the opposite. No, this ain't no championship team. But is this a team that you should continue watching to see if they can do some Cinderella stuff and make the playoffs? That's where we're at. We're trying to figure out if we actually believe in that at this point. Because if you would have asked me about 4 days ago, I'd have said, yeah. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd have said, yeah, like super, yeah. If you would have asked me a month and a half ago, I would have said, hell no. And so, like, it's been a lot of ebbs and flows, and we're only a third way through. It's not even the Christmas Day games yet. And so, understanding that the Christmas Day game is going to involve no Anthony Davis, I'm pretty sure with all these different knick-knack injuries, we're probably going to be missing some more players too on Christmas Day. I don't expect this to be a big-time key matchup for the Lakers. I expect us to have half our team missing in that game. It wouldn't be the first time. So as I look at the situation with the Lakers and I assess how they're playing and I assess how overall this season has looked, I think it's just really one of those situations where this game made you feel like they need to do something right now. I think that's the sentiment that I have. Time's up in regards to whether or not Rob Pelinka can afford to either make a trade and make this team better or watch the team go by the wayside. You know, this is a team who has a personality to me that from night to night it's a little different, man. I'm trying to figure out if I want this cover over me because it's freezing up there, out there. But nevertheless, you know, it's one of those teams where it's like they have like a drunken person's mentality. And I say that with the intent of thinking, you know, when something's going really, really bad, and then someone just continues to pour liquor on top of it. You know what I mean? Just drink, and it's you compounding the problem because now you're gonna have the issue on top of whatever it is you're stressing over. Now you got the alcoholism or what have you that comes with it, the drunkenness, and all of that. It becomes a situation where now you got two problems. And so that's kind of how I look at this team. It's like when things are going bad, sometimes they just start drinking as opposed to like, you know, kind of do certain things to kind of redirect themselves to get back to being better for the game. Now, the next morning, they're going to shake that off. They're going to do their homework and they're going to come back with an intent to try to be better, right? Because that's kind of how this team has done certain things. They went down the 10-2 hole and then won, 7 straight. You know, they tend to do their homework. But in the course of a certain game, in one particular game, if things are going well, they're feeling really, really good. Front runners, straight up front runners, hopping around, skipping, everybody's happy. But when things are going bad, they're hanging their head, or when things can teeter, whether it can go good or bad, depending on how they're feeling, they're just going to start drinking. You know what I mean? It's just going to turn into a 24, 25, 30-point loss instead of them fighting back. But we have certain players on this team to where if you put them on the floor, they will, in fact, give you that effort that has that soberness to it, to where they're going to continue to fight. They're going to continue to be competitive. You know, guys like Austin Reeves and Wenyen Gabriel, when they're playing well, Lonnie Walker, LeBron James, they're going to keep fighting. But when they're not in that mindset, when Bron, and it changes with him, it's up to him to keep that mindset, AD as well, Westbrook, when they're not really, for whatever reason, whatever mood it is, if they're not on that mood, the game could go left. They will cater to losing. And to me, that's like the equivalent of drunkenness. It's like, all right, we ain't gonna do nothing to help ourselves. We just drink. And so that's how I look at this team. It's like, all right, how are they feeling tonight? Do they feel like fighting or do they feel like drinking? You know what I mean? And this ain't celebrating drinking. We ain't talking about the type of drinking that we could talk about after the team wins. No. We talking about, you know, when things have gone wrong and now you want to go sorrow and just sit in your drunkenness. This is not the type of drinking we want to do. You know what I mean? This is the type of drinking we need somebody to talk us out of drinking. You know? And so this is where I'm looking at this team and I'm saying, okay, let's be competitive, man. How do y'all want to be? Do y'all want to just sit in your sorrows? Look at each other and say, I don't believe, and just roll over and look at the other teams that's beating you and say they can't beat us? Because that's kind of what I see out there. You know, when it starts with the coach. Where's your mind at? You know, do you want to play ball or is it about giving up? What are we doing? Because some of the stuff that he's doing strategically out there, it's like, you're seeing this go wrong. Why don't you amend out of it? You're seeing this go wrong. Why don't you put the team in a position to see a different look? You know, and it's just like we're giving up, we're drinking out there, we're not really serious about overcoming what's coming at us. You see what I'm saying? We'd rather just lay down in the corner and just let them kick us around and just hate ourselves about it. And that's what I was seeing out there from the players. You know, it's like that's the energy. It's like, dang, I'm down on myself. Like, nah, we can't play like that and think we're going to be competitive and think the other team ain't going to be lighting beams in the sky. Nah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen, and you're going to have fans like me who are not wrapped up like that, who are going to be offended by all that because we want you to win. We want, you know what I mean? We're not going to have a heart for that, most of us. We're more so going to attack that even further. So it's up to Jeanie Buss to put guys in this uniform who can handle that, you know, and I say that because it's just a matter of fact. You know, I can loosen up and get myself to a space where I'm welcoming of everybody. But at the end of the day, it ain't LA. That's not the represented team this is. It's not the fan base. They're going to boo and be angry at this kind of stuff. Just like Philadelphia would be in a different way, but it's still going to be hate. We ain't going to like it. You know, we're not going to like seeing players struggle. We're not going to like seeing players not play at a high level. We're not going to accept low basketball IQ. It's tough on us because we're used to excellence. You know, we're not just happy to be here. We have an entitlement thing going. We feel like we've earned and contributed. You know what I mean? We've been well represented for years in various situations where you see parades when we won championships. Go all over the country, you're going to see. You know, it feels like a home game when the Lakers come to town. Even when we go out of country, you'll see more Laker jerseys than anything else. I mean, we feel like we deserve to see the best because we know everybody's dreaming to be here. So why should, at any given moment, not each and every roster spot have at least a very good basketball player in it? You know, because there's too many people who want to be here. And so the fact of the matter is people who are in control of the situation here are not doing what they're supposed to do to welcome the best players in here. However it takes to get them here, they're doing it the wrong way. They're only trying to go for a few and then leaving the rest of the roster spots open to be filled by players that just don't have the talent to be Lakers. You know, and the ones that we do want to see continue to be here, they're guys that are going to need some time on the court, opportunities to make mistakes, opportunities to not have to be, you know, anxious because they're playing on the floor with guys who demand more from them because they expect to win right now. It's just a bad environment for all of this to take place. And so Guys are making the most of it. Like I said, the unit looks pretty good. Guys look comfortable with one another when things are going right. And when things aren't going right, they start drinking. Metaphorically speaking, of course. And it's not good, man. It's not good. You want to see a team that stays competitive all night long. If it has to be an adjustment, make an adjustment. If you see we're getting our butts kicked out there because guys aren't tall enough, put the taller ones on the floor. Don't show me that a guy is 7 feet and he only got 7 minutes. When we out there getting rebound over. Nah, that ain't gonna work. I look at Damian Jones, I say, you played how many years with the Kings? You don't think he wanted to catch a few lobs tonight, coach? You don't think he would have felt good to block a few shots tonight? When you watch Domantas Sabonis getting all them rebounds, I would at least like to have seen him do 1 or 2 things that cater to his strengths. These are the type of things we forget about that. We forget about those little things that help build chemistry. Now, you forgot he's a homecoming for this young fella. He didn't hardly play, did he? He didn't think about it, did we? But as a fan, I'm always thinking about that stuff because I know if we cater to that, it's no different than catering to anybody else's homecoming. When they play well, they're going to really play well in the next game. And by the time Christmas comes around, they're going to be blocking Luka shots. These are the type of things that I already know these buttons need to be pressed if you want to win a championship. If I'm leading the team, I'm going to be telling coaches what we need to be doing. Yo, D. Jones, he's home. 2 lobs to him tonight, for sure. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. We're going to get it done. And I'm already thinking about stuff. I should have said it in the video earlier, but I was too busy thinking about how we were going to continue to see the same of what we've already been seeing, which is a lack of any of that, and more so just, I want to see small ball. Let's do Dennis Schroeder, see if he can go for 34, 35 tonight. Maybe in 22 shots. I don't know what that does for Max Christie and everybody else on this team that needs to get better, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't see the logic in it at all. Even when I try to make a joke about it, I don't see the logic. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Even when I consider whoa, Dennis Schroeder went for 30, I'm like, well, who's rooting for that? I don't know. We losing? Who the hell's rooting for that? When you know he's being featured for what reason? I don't know. No, you ain't going to trade him. We could have traded this man 100 times over. What do we want to do with Dennis Schroeder the first time around? We wanted to give him $170 million. How much did they want to pay this man 3 years ago? Before they wanted to make him the main point guard, right? Is that why we're featuring him now? Because y'all still believe in him like that? I mean, I'm just so tired of this regime. The stuff they're thinking and whatever they're doing. I'm hearing Zach LaVine rumors. Y'all know Zach LaVine is a guy who's had a lot of injury issues, man. And he, too, has had some defensive issues. Now, I'm paying attention to his numbers. He's getting his assists up, his rebounds up. He's obviously a fantastic streak three-point shooter. He's going to be a star, one of the most elite jumpers in the world. So he's probably going to last a long time because of it. You know what I mean? There's certain things about Zach LaVine that you could see as a plus, but the knee injury's his contract is there. That contract is horrible. Just like Bradley Beal's. This franchise has an... Is it an elitist thing? Is that what it is? It's like, I must have the most expensive thing. Where's the most expensive contract to give it to me? Is that what this is? This is not how you handle basketball. No, it's the opposite. You don't want that. That's it. You're doing the wrong thing, man. You are absolutely shopping the wrong way. You got to shop like a broke person when you're in the NBA because you want discounts and you want youth. And youth comes just naturally in rookie contracts because they're young. That's what a rookie contract's going to end up being inherently. So you want that. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, yo, what are we asking to get? We're asking for Zach LaVine. You're going to pay for him at the highest price. When you bring him here and he has this next knee injury, you know when you want to go trade him again, you're going to have to trade him for half that price. You know that, right? There's very little chance that contract that appreciates in value for a player that's going to get older, that you're going to lean on a lot because the rest of the team's going to be trash because he has a very expensive contract with the rest of these expensive contracts, just like you've been building the wrong way. And you're going to bring him in, he's going to get hurt, and you're going to want to trade him again. You know what you're going to get for him? Half of what you're about to pay for him right now. You keep doing this. You're going to did it with Westbrook. Probably ain't going to get nothing for him. And gave away Kuzma, THT, what his name? KCP. And gave up everybody for him. A first round pick, all kinds of stupid stuff to get back Westbrook. Ain't getting nothing for him. Gonna have 2 losing seasons he's a part of where he looked terrible and made fun of for most of the season. And you gonna turn around and do this with Zach LaVine? What you think Zach LaVine gonna look in this offense? That boy, he has issues staying on the floor, like Anthony Davis, like LeBron James. Check his history. He be missing months at a time. Why in the green hell would you bring him to LA when you know his contract is one of the worst in the leagues, just like Bradley Beal's? This type of stuff, man, I'm telling you what Rob is doing, in my humble opinion, is the same exact thing that Jim Buss did to the Lakers. He know he gonna get fired, so he gonna leave us with a contract that looks really bad. That's gonna extend past his tenure. I don't want that. I've already been through that. I don't need that. I didn't protest the Mozgov contract enough. I didn't protest Luol Deng like I should have. Those things were anchors that harmed us, that put us in this hole we're in. And you're trying to tell me that the regime we're in is trying to further put us in a hole. If anybody knows why we shouldn't do this, it's the person who inherited the problem that put us in that situation, which is doing something similar. He knows this shouldn't be done. He's going to do it anyway because he knows we're stupid enough to want it, and it's not something to want. That's why I'm glad I have a voice, man, so I can at least send this message to at least 350 people, at least, so they will understand that this is not something you should actually want. You are further driving yourself into the same hole you've been in. This is why you have Kendrick Nunn on your team. This is why he's here, because it is. He wouldn't be here if we wasn't doing stuff like this. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm through. I'm through. The Lakers are doing dumb stuff, man. I'm tired of my team behaving like they don't have the advantage of the Los Angeles market to just attract teams like a fly trap would attract flies. Players are going to come here just off the strength of the purple and gold. They're going to come here because it's LA and the sunshine is really, really, really nice out here, man. They'll play the taxes just to be here. And we are blowing it because we can't understand that Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine are contracts that will anchor us into the ground, assuring that we have Kendrick Nuns for years to come. Jeannie, this is awful, friend. This is awful. The only glimmer of hope we have is Austin Reeves, and Christie, and these young players. That's what we got. And then their upside is not crazy high. It's not. Those guys are good role players. Maybe they'll make an all-star team if they peak. You got Scottie Pippen, son. I like that. Okay. You feel me? We got some role players that we can trust. Where's the rest? And I respect Bron. Bron knows I respect Bron. But we know where we're at. We know where we're at. If he was running the team, he'd know what he need to do. I don't think this team would look like this if we were doing things properly. That's the bottom line. It just wouldn't. Man, we can blame everybody and make every excuse. You could hire scapegoats to blame. All that stuff is really, really unnecessary when you're doing things correctly. It don't have to happen. So stop with the greed. Stop with the expensive contract hunting. Like that's a good science. That is bad math in this environment. Believe me, you're not shopping for jewels. This is not that. Please stop treating this like it's that. No, it's the opposite. You do not at all want to hunt expensive contracts down and add them to your situation in exchange for young assets. That is the opposite way to build in the NBA. So that's what that is most important. I cannot stress that enough at all. I don't care what you think they can do for you this year. You will be anchored without young talent, man. And there are going to be some special talented players coming in the league. Wembanyama is not the last one. I assure you of this. Your picks matter, especially when you have good scouts, and we got them. We got good scouts. You see what they're doing with second-round picks and undrafted players. What the hell you think they'll do with first-round picks and lottery picks? Come on, use your brain. Trevor Lane said it himself this morning. I'm just echoing the thought. This is real. Use your scouts because they're the best thing you got. And you're not bringing them no draft picks. That's asinine. It's backwards. That's absolutely backwards. If you don't have good scouts, then you do things this way. Well, we got some of the best scouts in the league, and we only giving them second-round picks. Please make it make sense, Los Angeles. I want people to stop treating the NBA like it's a high-end jewelry exchange. This is not something, you're not trying to hunt down the most expensive stuff. That does not make you the best you can be. And anybody that's telling you that or selling you that is selling you beachside property in Maine. Do they have beach in Maine? They probably do have a beach in Maine. But it ain't the type of beach you want to be on. It's not the type of property that you would want to buy. We're not talking about nothing, LA's beachside. We're not talking about Miami, none of that. No. This is not what you want. That's essentially what I'm saying to you. So we should not want that. Please look for discounts, look for young players, look for rookie contracts, look for people who have yet to become stars. Look for people who are going to earn those contracts by being hungry now. If they make a couple mistakes, you'll make up from the back end from their upside. Trust me. Because a lot of times you don't want these guys to like, oh, they're not good enough yet. You got to wait on them. Well, you bring in these dudes, you know what you're waiting on? Them going the other way. They're going to go the other way. That's the problem. You got to wait on them. Don't wait on them unless it's going to be sending you in the upside as you wait. You want to ascend, not descend. And if you're picking up the Bradleys and the other guys, you know what I'm saying, Zach LaVine's, nah. No upside there, man. They're going the other way. Or hovering for a while. I can see Zach LaVine staying at this level, which is cool. It's a cool level. But I've also seen him play some bad basketball, man. That's the problem with me and Zach. I've seen him play bad. I've seen him go 3 for 22. I've seen him play terrible defense. I've seen him have games where he leaves the players wide open and taking bad shots, playing completely out of continuity. See, I'm a fan of Caruso and Lonzo and watching them play. So when they were all healthy, I would watch the Bulls a little bit. You know what I mean? When they first put that team together, I wanted to see what they were doing. And you know when problems started? When Zach got on the floor. Because he ended the continuity. Those players were so cerebral and he wasn't. He's looking for his own shot and nobody else's. Trust me. There's a place for that. This ain't that. This is not for the $50 million, $60 million at the end of the contract type. No. Not so he can jump a little higher than most. Nah, I'm cool. We good. I can find that same production somewhere else. Half the price. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta know what you're doing. That's it. You just gotta have a GM that knows what he's doing. I listen to most people who talk about the NBA, and I have a different opinion about what they should want. I really do. I think 80% of the people I listen to about the NBA, they still talking about players like, bring me Boogie Cousins, bring me Dwight Howard, bring me Carmelo Anthony. I don't want them dudes. Them dudes is done, man. You know how many miles they got on them legs? I am cool. Those are yesterday's names. Think about the new ones. Find me the guys that can do what they do, but haven't popped yet. Maybe they're not as good as them. I don't care. They're not supposed to be as good as them. They're supposed to be guys who are hoping to be as good as them someday. That's it. And they don't cost as much because of it. And I'm not afraid if they don't pop, because if they don't pop, I'll recycle them and bring in some more. And I'll always be looking for them because I got the scouts to do it. And a whole G League to make players better. So I'm not afraid to recycle them. There shouldn't be no old players on your team no more. It's over for that. They hold no value and you need value. What is there to say? What else is there to say? Dudes hold no value and you need value. If I was running an NBA team, it wouldn't be nothing but G Leaguers on my team. Y'all would laugh at my team. But I would have stars popping up left and right. You would look up and say, oh, that dude is getting 30 points, 15 rebounds. How the hell did he do that? Where did you get that dude from? Where did he come from? Next thing you know, I'd have a whole team full of them dudes. 7 years down the road, 2 of them dudes would probably be halfway to the Hall of Fame. Don't let me have any control of an organization. Because the superstar stuff, I know I can compete. put enough length on the floor, these superstars gonna wear out, bro. They don't wear out. There's gonna be certain ones you can't beat, like Giannis, of course, and some obviously, but you're gonna end up landing one of those. You hoard enough picks, believe me, you're gonna land one of them dudes. Rarely do teams have Washington like luck. It doesn't happen. Rarely do teams have New York like luck, which I don't think is luck at all. I think New York is being rigged against. I really believe that. But that's a whole nother story. At any rate, as I look at my team, I just say, man, ain't nobody rigging against us. We just doing things the wrong way. You know, we talk about Laker tax, but all that's fair. All that's fair because teams are going to have to lose players coming our way regardless, whether we do things correctly or not, which is the sad part about it. Until players start smartening up to realizing that infrastructure matters, man. You can't just keep going to these teams. Look at LeBron. And I hate to do that, but LeBron got one championship out of the situation, man. He shouldn't have chose this place. We know damn well if he would have chose Philadelphia, he'd have had like 4 rings by now, 3 rings by now with Joel. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to myself because we didn't do things correctly. There were better ways to build around him, including not listening to him when asking to do certain things. You just got to let him tweet, especially when it comes to affecting your numbers. You got to let him tweet. Sorry, Bron. Some of that stuff shouldn't have been done. And that would have been the right thing to do, and then you would have seen the moves that would have been made after that, and you'd have been happy as hell. And that's how that should have went. That's how that goes. You'd be mad for a time, and then boom, they make the big deal. You're like, oh my God, look at my teammates. Thank God I didn't get what I wanted. That's how that would have went if you would have had a real GM. Just keep it a buck. That's how that would have went. Somebody just tell him no and wait and see what I do. Boom. You'd have had teammates flying all over the place. You would have thought you didn't want to play with them young players till you'd have seen what they would have did around you. Then you'd have been like, oh my God, there's an epiphany. I can win every game. Yeah, they want to play video games, but it don't matter. Who cares? Through 48 minutes, they'd make life so much easier for this man. But he wanted to play with his friends. And nobody around him was just had the ability for whatever reason to just say, nah, bro, but give me a second. Let me show you what else I can do. I just wish that somebody could have did that. Because he'd have been winning right now. If somebody would just say no to that Russell Westbrook thing. No, bro, no. No, but check this out, though. Watch this move, though. He'd have been mad until he saw him. Anyway, that's just revisionist history, man. And most importantly, that's when I'm controlling things or somebody that thinks like me, I think. You know, you got to have a desire to go after young talent. You got to have a desire to empower your scouts, man. That's what it really comes down to. You got to see that as your moneymaker. I do. I look at Joey Buss and his team, and I'm like, that's where I'm going to get the players that I really need. Is investing in their eye. They say they like something, let me do that. Let me go toward that. Because they're the ones that brought me to Caruso. They're the ones that brought me Austin Reeves. They're the ones that keep finding me these guys, Christie's, that continue to help us with the things that we're no good at. And the other guys that we choose are the ones that don't necessarily help us with those things unless they're the superstars. Notice. It's scouts' work that secure these possessions. So that's why I want our Lakers to just get rid of this way we're doing things and just let those scouts do their thing, man. Get us a bunch of picks. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we're very heavily a part of the 2025 and 26 drafts, since I know we ain't nowhere near these next two. And let's just make sure we're not mortgaging any more of our future, man. I don't care if our team ain't very good, and I don't think this fan base gonna care either. You know why? Because you know what you're gonna tell us? Yeah, y'all waiting for something, you ain't gonna get it, but wait, look what we're gonna do here. That's all, and then we're gonna be like, oh, we're so happy. I remember when we got the Powell trade. Oh, we're so happy. We didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, if you're doing things correctly, people are going to be upset for a little while, but eventually they'll see the results of what it is you're doing correctly, and they'll be like, whoa, this was worth it. We're happy, and that's when the moment will matter. So do that. But there's balance to that, because in the meantime, this team is horrible, and you have to complete it. So don't take what I'm saying we don't have to make any trades. No, that's stupid. Don't be stupid. do something that is in balance and makes sense. You got to get certain players off this team, and you got to get some other ones on it. And that means you allocate your prices in a way that fits you, and you don't take no for an answer, and you maneuver properly. You don't overpay for anything. Don't overpay for anything. Don't overpay for anything. You know what I'm saying? Do not overpay for anything. You got to find balance in everything, even if it means abandoning what it is we're talking about. If somebody's going to make you pay 2 picks for Bogdanovich, you got to give them the finger, you got to hang up the phone. You know what I mean? And like I said, it just has to be as it looks. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes that's what happens too. And us fan base, we just have to live with it and deal with the screeching of the sound of that situation, because it's going to be a slow burn if teams are really going to try to fleece us out of our first round picks. Getting rid of them, it's a hard decision. And even as I calculated in my mind, I'm not really sure what the right decision is, depending on what they're looking at. How much this team is worth saving, and what I can retrade from what it is that I'm trading versus what those players could be when I draft them. It's too much to consider. When you really break it down, it's too much. And so I don't blame anybody for not moving, but I do blame somebody for not doing small things that just simply make this team more complete. So that's what I want to see us do. I want us to move Schroeder. I want us to move Pat Bev. I want us to move Kendrick Nunn. I know those players are really good. I'm not trying to say that they can't play or can't help a team. I'm just saying they can't help us in the way that we're constructed at this time. It ain't about singling people out as players that shouldn't be in the league or nothing like that. That's not my intention. When it is my intention, I say that. That's not how I feel about these guys. Kendrick needs to get better. But those other 2 guys, for real, they need to be in the league. They just don't need to be on the same team, on the same floor at the same time. And that's what our coach refuses to split them up. He just won't. He won't do right in regards to this. And it is really something that just needs to be taken out of his hands. And like I said, if it's not in his hands and clutches asking us to feature this guy, the answer needs to be no, Jeannie. It has to be no. It's costing the team in ways that it doesn't have to. Simply put, the answer has to be no. You got 2 games out of that. We saw Diaz. He looked great. But it did nothing. Did nothing. So I want that to be Scottie Pippen now. So, period, man. Period. I can't stress it enough. I really don't care how inefficient the young fella would be or isn't. Just make sure he's getting better. Make sure he and Christie and the young fellas are getting better, man. Lonnie and see, we have enough of them now too. Wenyen, TB, Austin. There's no excuse for us to play these guys when you consider who all we have when we're fully healthy with those players. AD doesn't have nothing to do with this. Bron ain't got nothing to do with this. We're talking about the other players that we need to be playing regularly, whether those guys are on the floor or not. We don't have to go small even when we don't have no stars at all. Westbrook, none of them. We still don't have to go small, and that is why this video needed to be made. I just think that what we're seeing out there doesn't have to be. Even if we're stalemated and can't make a single trade, we ain't never got to see what we saw tonight. Ever. It's awful. So that's my thoughts, man. I'm glad you guys allow me to vent. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. We just keep our mental health in regards to small things like our teams that we really care about, but just give us no reason to smile these days. They give us nothing but nonsense. And excuses. Lots of excuses. Not surprising, because they are full of those. So that's what I got, man. I guess you can call this a Laker rant. I'm not really mad. Irritated. But I don't think it's a chat, because it's not positive. So I'll call it a vent. Yeah, I'm not going to even call it a rant. I'll call it a vent. Laker vent. BDL 44.